Hello everyone. So in this video I want to show you how Wi-Fi can be managed from one place instead of configuring every access point one by one. And also at the end of the video I'll show you that this Wi-Fi controller doesn't have to live on a main router. It can be on a switch. So in my case I'm using a switch, a CRS, to show you how it's done. So what is Capsman? So think of Capsman as a remote control for Wi-Fi. Instead of walking to every access point and changing settings individually, you change things once and all access points follow that instructions, such as passwords, names, radio behavior. So let's get to it. Fully logged into my CRS using Winbox, and I'm just gonna quickly show you guys what my configurations are. So as you can see, I'm on a bridge mode. I'm getting this IP address. So in order to set up this Capsman, we have to set it up. So it depends on if we have a legacy Wi-Fi device or we have the new Wi-Fi 6 device. So for example, for this situation, I'm using a HAP AC, which is like a MicroTech device for setting up Capsman for legacy Wi-Fi, for example, Wi-Fi 5. And then I'm gonna use HAP AX2, which has this Wi-Fi 6, and show you guys the difference between Capsman on Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 5. So let's start setting up on Wi-Fi 5, the configuration. So we head into Capsman under wireless. As you can see here, we have so many tabs that we can you can play around with it. But in just for this case, I'm gonna show you the basic stuff to get going. So first of all, first thing first, we must add a security profile into our configurations. Why? Because security is important. So we need to have a password, a secure password. So when we click on adding a security configuration, we can see the authentication type, which we can see what type of authentication type we can add, and do we want it to be encrypted, and what passphrase, what password we want to add. So after we added that, we move to data paths. So now that we have secured our configuration by adding password, we come across the data paths. So what is a data path? So data path is we are saying, like, we're specifying where this traffic goes after someone connects to it. So we tell it to, when someone connects, sends their traffic straight into the local network. This is called also local forwarding, and it's the most efficient option for most networks. Uh, in this case, Wi-Fi stays fast and the controller doesn't become a bottleneck. As you can see here, we specified it to uh, go to the bridge, and local forwarding we also enabled it. Channels. What are channels? So think of channels like lanes on a road. So if too many cars use the same lane, everything slows down. So we decide to uh, add like multiple lanes. So for example, in this case, we have two channels. One channel is the 2.4 gigahertz channel, which you can name it whatever you want. But in this case, I'm naming it channel 2, and the band I specified on 2 gigahertz G/N, and click OK, and then we add another channel which is specified for the 5 gigahertz channel. We name it channel 5, and the band is 5 gigahertz and /AC. So now that we have all the configurations, we can put them all together. So in here in the configuration tab, we put all together all these configurations, small configurations that we set up. So for two channels that we have, so the second channel, as you can see here, we must set the mode to AP, access point. We must set a SSID. We must set what country is it from. In my case, it's in Canada. And then the installation, is it indoor or outdoor? And the channel, so we specify the channel we just created to it. We just give it the channel. And data path, so the data path is the one that we just created. And of course security, that's the profile we added to make it more secure. So we want our access point to have a password. And we do the same thing for channel 5, and we can call it whatever you want, but in my case I'm calling it cap 5. Now we have all that, we can move to add our provisioning. What is provisioning? So provisioning is how the controller decides that which instructions go to which radio. So some radios are better for long range, others are better for speed. So provisioning makes sure each radio gets the right role automatically. So this means less manual work, fewer mistakes, and easier explanation later. So in this case, you have two channels, and as you can see, this is for channel 2, 2.4 gigahertz. We put supported modes here. As you can see, I put G and GN. And the action, we must set it up as dynamically created. These are the options. And the master configurations is the configuration for channel 2 that we just created. And we do the same thing for channel 5. As we can see, I set it up as A, AN, and AC as the supported modes. And this is it. This is all the configurations you need for Wi-Fi, legacy Wi-Fi's on older devices. So now I'm gonna show you how to connect your HAP AC, or in my case HAP AC, to this Capsman. I signed it into my HAP AC, and as you can see here, this is just an overview of the configuration set up on my HAP AC. So what we want to do is we want to head into the wireless section under the wireless tab. And as we can see here, so because right now I added those caps configurations on my CRS, uh, this route, this HAP AC automatically got the configurations, and it's, as you can see, it's managed by Capsman, and the channels are the 2.4, and then this one is the 5, and this is the SSID, and we know that it's local forwarding, as I explained earlier. And in case that you don't see this, what you want to do is you can come to the configuration part on the right corner, and you see the cap. So you click on the cap. So you must make sure that this cap configuration is enabled, and it has both wireless interfaces included, and the discovery interfaces. Well, in my case I want it to be my bridge, so I set it up on my bridge, which is called bridge local. And then here I specified that the address of the Capsman is the address of my CRS, which I implemented Capsman on. That's all you need to do. Okay, so now that we talked about how to set up Capsman on legacy Wi-Fi devices, Now I want to show you guys how to set up Capsman for Wi-Fi 6. It's a bit different, but it's kind of similar. So earlier we went to the Capsman under wireless to set up the Capsman for Wi-Fi 5, but now we go to we need to head into the Wi-Fi section and we add those configurations. It's a bit slightly different than Wi-Fi 5, but it's similar. So we must set up our security profile. As you can see here, we also have a support for WPA3 authentication, which is stronger. But in my case, I also want to enable WPA2 because some devices they might not have any support modules for WPA3. And then we can add our passphrase. And next one is the data path. So in this data path, so that local forwarding that we needed to enable, it's automatically by default enabled, so we don't need to worry about that, and we only need to specify the bridge. So in our case, the bridge is the bridge we have, but in your case you might have two bridges, and one you can use one bridge to specify, and then the other bridge you don't want it to be for Capsman, so you can create your own Capsman bridge. But in this case I'm using the bridge for bridge. And without this data path, radios bind to Capsman, it says a SSID remains inactive, and you see a issue that's saying SSID not set. So this is very important. And then after setting up these two, we go to the channels. So you can see here, so it's very similar. We add two channels, channel 2 and 5 for 2.4 gigahertz and one for 5 gigahertz. But the difference here is that if you look at it, so the band here we have, it must be specified as AX. So 2 gigahertz AX, and then the width 20 megahertz in this case, and then for the 5 gigahertz the band should be AX, and for this case I'm using 20/40 megahertz for testings. And we put all these small configurations together to just make the whole configurations for our Capsman. So here, as you can see, I named this SSID as Cap AX2. I added the channels, I added the security profile and everything, and you can see I'm using a very secure password. That's funny. And same thing for channel 5. And also, let's not forget about provisioning. It's the same thing as the setting up Capsman for Wi-Fi 5 and legacy Wi-Fi's. And we also, and this is important, we also need to specify the supported bands. Here is the AX, as you can see, and for the 5 gigahertz is the AX, 5 gigahertz AX. After we did all this, we must head into our access point. So I logged into my HAPAX2. As you can see here, well, by default I have my Wi-Fi interfaces managed by Capsman, which we just specified. And if we look at the radios, we can see the radios and the bands they are in, and it's just automatically my HAPAX2 connected to the Capsman. And if there are some cases that this won't be enabled, one of the things you can do is you can head into packages under the system, and you must make sure, this is very important, you must make sure that you have your Wi-Fi-QCOM package enabled. If this is disabled and the wireless is enabled, that won't work. the Wi-Fi 6 wouldn't work. So you must have this Wi-Fi-QCOM enabled. And after that, you must come to reset configurations under system tab, and you must configure your router by enabling caps mode. So if you enable caps mode, well, I'm not gonna do it right now, I'm gonna get disconnected. But if you enable caps mode and you set config, uh, once your router boots up, it goes automatically to caps mode. And as you can see here, I can show you the caps mode is enabled. The discover interfaces are breached. Just in my case, sorry about that. Okay, yeah, so it's breach, and yeah, that's it. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is that you're now limited to set up Capsman on a router. You can set it up on a bridge or on a CRS or like a switch. And in my case, I'm using both bridge and CRS together to show you guys that you can run Capsman on it. And running Capsman on the bridge or CRS, it helps simplifying firewall requirements, keeping Wi-Fi independent from routing changes, improves scalabilities, matches enterprise controller placements. So the router focuses on routing and security, and the switch handles layer 2 and Wi-Fi controls, which is, in my opinion, is the best. So again, thank you guys for listening and watching. I hope this was useful, and if you have any more questions about Microtech devices, you can head into solimedia.net and give us a visit, and please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.